Hey guys, Henry here, back at you again with another piece of Path of Exile news. Notice how I didn't say Path of Exile 2 news. This is actually concerning 1. And you're probably, what are you talking about? Well, they just released this page a couple of hours ago. I got the notification in my Discord. And this is to basically reveal the legacy of Phrecia. I don't know how to say this word. But basically, in case you haven't been following, over the last couple of weeks. The devs have kind of talked about why it's taking so long. There's been a lot of drama concerning Path of Exile 1's latest expansion, which is supposed to be 3.26. But it's been delayed for so long because of Path of Exile 2. And they talked about that big delay in a previous video that they released about a week ago. And to sum it up, basically, they had misallocated resources internally. They had so many people working on PoE2 with the launch and all the bugs and all the fixes that had to be done. And they had pulled people away from the Path of Exile 1 team to help with Path of Exile 2. And every time they wanted to go back to PoE 1, they still had to keep fixing and working on things for PoE 2 as much as possible because it came out. It was so popular. It was like over 500,000 for a very long time. One of the longest running, consistently high running games on Steam worldwide. And they just didn't have the time to really work on the PoE 1. But they recently, to kind of make up for the lack of content before they finished 3.26, they announced a month-long running event, which is called the Phrecia event. And they're talking about it right here. So let's just go through it really quickly. So since we announced our plans for the Path of Exile 1 event a couple days ago, we've been working on implementing all the ideas we've got for new ascendancies. So they talked about adding a bunch of new ascendancies to the game. That were kind of ascendancies that never really made it into the game. They were kind of like crazy ideas that they came up with, but were never truly implemented in the long run. But now they decided to throw them in, which is why I'm very excited to see this. So the event has also received an official name, the Legacy of Phrecia, to commemorate the great emperor and the inspiration he gave us. Over the next few days, we'll be showcasing all ascendancy classes we came up with. But as a start, take a look at the Harbinger, which is part of the Witch, so it's the new Witch Ascendancy, and the Gambler. I'm liking this one already. Duelist. Please note that these are still a work in progress and might be adjusted close to the start of the event. So they might change. These are not hard-coded. These are not written in stone. They may change some of the numbers around, just like what they did with PoE2's Ascendancies. Some were changed by the time the game came out. Okay? So first off, become a Harbinger. So just so you guys don't know, in PoE 1, there are like these alien entities called Harbingers. They all have names that are written in like a foreign language, like an alien language. So there's no actual like English letters for them. And so become a Harbinger, manipulating the bounds of reality itself. The Harbinger specializes in time magic. I'm getting Chrono vibes here, Chronomancer vibes, as well as summoning other Harbingers, allies from their homeworld to assist you in combat. And as a bonus, you also get to fly and be blue. I'm blue. All right, so let's take a look at the ascendancies. I'm just gonna read through these, and I haven't read this yet, so I have no idea what's going on. Okay, let's start from the left side. So we have 30% increase energy shield recovery rate and mana recovery rate. That's always nice to have. Grants Summoner Greater Harbinger of the Arcane skill. Okay, so you straight up get a new skill. Okay, but we don't know what it does, so unfortunately, all you do is summon a Harbinger, but it probably just does some sort of buff. I don't know. Looks cool, though. I like that. Next. 100% increased area of effect of hex skills. Temporal Change has no reservation cast if cast as an aura. So if you have, I believe it's called Blasphemy. It's a support gem called Blasphemy. And it turns all your curses / hexes into an aura around your character. So you no longer have to keep spamming the curse. You just have it around you. And as you walk near an enemy, they get cursed. So if it has no reservation cost, that means you can put more on it without having to lose so much mana reservation. It's pretty cool. Next, we have immune to curses while channeling, unaffected by chill while channeling, and unaffected by shock while channeling. So if you like channeling skills and you want to be immune to curses and immune to chill or unaffected by chill and shock, boom, that's your one right there. Next, buffs on you expire 30% slower, so they last 30% longer, and debuffs end 30% earlier, so they expire 30% faster. Nice utility. Next, what do we have here? Okay. Grants summon greater Harbinger of focus. And we have, again, another skill. We don't know what it does. 40% increased cooldown recovery rate. Nice. So if you like to spam your abilities more often for those longer cooldowns, that's always nice to have. And next we have grants summon greater Harbinger of time skill. Again, we don't know what it does. It involves summoning a Harbinger. But until we get in game, we won't know what it does. It's all right. Keep me excited. All right, let's scroll further down. Okay. Are you the kind of player who likes to... This is the Gambler Duelist, okay? Are you the kind of player who likes to play against the odds? Question mark. I do. This is the perfect class for risk lovers who want to experience the highest of highs and potentially the lowest of lows. Okay, so you get that crazy dopamine. The Gambler specializes in betting on a high payoff and having Lady Luck take control. All right, let's just go through this one. Again, I have not read this before. Okay, so we have 50% chance. So risk aversion. Okay, they actually have names for the skills now because it's not written in a foreign language. So first we have 50% chance to avoid elemental ailments and 50% chance to avoid being stunned. Nice utility. That's very good. Next we have growing accumulator. 15% chance to deal triple damage and 35% chance to deal double damage, but all of your damage is lowered by 25%. But if you're consistently hitting these doubles and triples, it won't fucking matter because that shit's mad high. That's a lot of damage right there. Especially when you're doing in the millions. It's a lot. Spectacular parlay. Your critical strike chances are lucky. So what lucky means is that you roll 2 chances of, in this case, critical strike, 2 chances, and whichever one has the higher chance, it will take the higher. So let's say you hit somebody and you have a 15% chance to get a critical strike, and the other one was like 18% on that one, whatever. It'll take the higher. Whatever one rolled the highest amount was the one that you'll get, which is good. It's 2 chances to roll a critical. It's like, double the chance. Damage with hits. So hits that are not critical, damage with hits. So I think just damage in general with hits is unlucky. So normal damage is unlucky. So it's the opposite of lucky. It takes the lower of 2 rolls. It takes the lowest value. So if you specialize in critical strike chance, of course this will be very good for you. Because even with lower damage, if you're critting a lot, it's very much worth it in the long run. Just be careful of reflect damage because you can end up killing yourself, unfortunately. Next is heads. Heads and tails. Okay, so heads. Chance to block spell damage is lucky, and chance to block attack damage is unlucky. So it's the same concept as Spectacular Parlay, but it's for blocking, attack, and spells. Tails. Okay, so it's literally the total inverse. Okay, so here, block spell damage is lucky, block attack damage is unlucky. Here, it's the total opposite. So blocking spell damage is unlucky, and blocking attack damage is lucky. So I guess it depends on what you're specializing in. Next we have overly confident. Damage from enemies hitting you is unlucky while you are on low life. I'm not a big fan of this one now that I'm reading this. Damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky while you are on low life. The thing is, in this game, especially in Path of Exile 1, when you're like in tier 15, tier 16, Uber stuff, if you're on low life, you're probably going to get 1-tapped anyway. Because a lot of the shit, especially when you fight bosses, they'll 1 or 2-tap you. That's how much damage they do. So I don't know and I think low life in this game is, what's considered low life in this game? Is it below 50%? Is it below 45%? I think. I'm not sure what the amount. It's different in this game compared to PoE 2, but the point that I'm making is that if you're already at low life, you're probably going to die anyways if you get hit. So you got to be careful. Because enemies will do damage in the millions. Next is Risky Exploit. Minus 25 to all elemental resistances, but there is a 50% chance for all elemental resistances to count as being 90% against enemy hits. That sounds kind of crazy, actually. 50% chance for your resistance to be counting as 90 against enemy hits. So if you're getting hit, there's a chance for all your elemental resistance to be counting as 90% elemental resistances. That's kind of insane. Reversed odds. Hits have a 50% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistance as if values as inverted. Hits have a... Sometimes you have to read these like 3 times in order for me to understand it, okay? So give me a second here. Hits have a 50% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistance values as inverted. So from what I'm reading here, when you are hitting an enemy, there is a 50% chance that the enemy's resistances will be inverted. So if the enemy has, let's say you hit an enemy with a fire attack and they have 50% resistance to fire, there's a 50% chance that if you hit them with the fireball, it will make their resistance minus 50, which means they're taking 50% increased damage from fire. So it's like increasing, it's more damage. It's like, it's really good. And that's for each hit. So if you have like a character that attacks really quickly with elemental damage on a weapon, you're basically, half of your hits will consider the resistance to be completely negative, which is kind of crazy. I'm excited. I like it. I'm really excited to see what they come up with next. Which ascendancy should we showcase next? Vote in this news poll to let us know. Given how rapidly we're putting the Legacy of Phrecia event together, it's hard to be certain on timelines, but we'll announce in early next week when this event will be running, including as many details about it as possible. Oh, and one more thing. What is this? Oh, this is for mapping. Okay, so here's the mapping. These are loadouts, I believe, for your Atlas tree. That's Kirak. That's some other bullshit. I'll be honest with you. I've played way more PoE2 than I have for PoE1, so I don't know the endgame as well as I do PoE2's endgame. But I'm like 99% sure this little table here on the left is brand new. I've never seen this before. Okay. That is interesting. It's just like an inventory for maps, but we already have a map stash tab that you can buy. Is this like a free version of that you can have? Maybe, I don't know. And this is for the Maven in the middle. This is for the Eater of Worlds, and the one on the left here is for the Searing Exarch. So bosses. Okay, so nothing too much has changed, but this is definitely interesting. But I'm definitely excited. The Ascendancies are definitely the number one most appealing thing about this so far. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where they go with this. I've been meaning to get back into PoE, but Settlers of Kalgur are so old now that I don't really want to go back. I kind of want something new. So maybe this little event will kind of spice things up a bit. And it'll be nice to get back into PoE1. I feel like PoE2 has kind of spoiled me a little bit because visually it looks so much different, like graphics-wise, that it makes you almost not want to go back. But I'll get over it. Graphics for me are not a big deal as long as the game is fun. But let me know what you guys think. How excited are you guys for the event? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's not cool? What kind of ascendancy do you guys want to look forward to? By the way, at the very beginning of this page, they give you the chance to vote for the next ascendancy that you want to see, and I chose the Disciple of the Trial Master because I'm a big fan of Ultimatum, and anything with the Trial Master is pretty cool. So it seems like everyone agreed, or at least the overwhelming majority of people agree that they want to see this one. So we'll probably see this one next week or in the next coming days. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.